Hey guys, I think we're live. I hope we're live. And everything looks good. This is such a weird setup for me. I'm facing like a nook in the hotel room. I don't know. For those of you guys who weren't like following, who don't follow me on Twitter, I'm away on business right now, and I thought like I have the evening without any plans, anything really to do. And so let me just do a quick stream, an impromptu stream. And I ended up like deciding that I was going to bring a camera and a light and a USB microphone. It's like a blue snowball, so it's nothing special. So if the audio sounds bad, sorry about that. There's not really much I could do. I don't think the built-in mic here is going to be better at all. So we're going to go with this, but the image should look good. It's kind of at a weird angle. I'm hoping that I don't have like bug eyes going on. Do I have bug eyes? I don't know. I hope not. I hope I don't look weird. Anyway, but I'm talking into like a corner. Like I'm sitting here facing the wall. So it's really bizarre. This is a really weird setup, but I figured I had the time. I'd come and spend a little time with you guys. Maybe answer some questions or just hang out and chat about whatever you wanted to chat about. Because why not? What else is going on? It's a Monday night. It is 8:35 right now Eastern Time. I am currently in Ocean City, Maryland. Not that far of a drive for me. It took me about 4 hours to get here from where I live. But I have to be out here for tonight and then tomorrow. So I actually have a really nice view. I mean, if anybody is familiar with the Ocean City area, it's just another beach town, I guess. It's got a boardwalk. There's a bay on the one side and the ocean on the other. And I have a balcony on my hotel room somehow. I don't even know how that happened. But I could see the bay. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice out here. In the summer, it gets a little crazy. It's kind of like, I guess, a lot of beach towns in the summer just kind of get overrun with like tourists and teenagers and whatever else, people doing stupid stuff and getting drunk and I don't know. But during the week, that's pretty nice. That's a pretty nice little town. So thanks for joining me. I'm drinking some terrible hotel wine. That's not even good. It's not not even good. So I hope anyway. I hope the stream looks good and sounds at least okay. So if it doesn't, let me know. I could adjust like levels and stuff on the microphone if need be, because it's pretty close to my mouth. I don't know if it's like peaking or anything. So in any event, cheers. Happy Monday. All right. So I know people are still kind of getting in here. It's not bad other than the small jumps. Are there jumps? Are there problems in the audio or video? Gadaman says that there are small jumps. All right. Well, if that's the case, let me know. I have the stream status says that it's good, and the internet speed here is surprisingly fast. It's got like I think I posted it on Twitter, but depending on where I am in the room, it's got between like 30 megabits and like 90 megabits upload. So this stream should look fine. I mean, up until yesterday, I had 12 up at my house. So, all right. All right. So let me scroll up. Let me just see who's in here and start talking about some stuff, I guess. So Rodimus is here. Thanks for being here, and I'm gonna leave you as a moderator because you do a good job, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. K3707, Shellback Tech, Justin Horton, Gadamon, Talman, Jeff M, Manny Media Tech, Danman 1012, Christopher Person. Noradine. No, wait, no, I'm gonna get this right. Noradine. I think that's right. Hesh and Mac Time. Weston Bar, Kuya Boggs, Alan W. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Mini-ITX said, Brian, you heard what happened to Max Yurev. I was just watching his stream, actually. Like, I literally have his stream in another tab because I guess it was cached. But yeah, I was just watching that. That's kind of scary because, I mean, if that. So for those of you who don't know, Max Yurev is a YouTuber. He does like a lot of camera stuff. He works a lot. I ended up watching a lot of his videos when I was thinking about buying the Sony A7 III because he does a lot of work with Sony cameras, but he does like cinema stuff. He reviews like lenses and cameras and, you know, shows you how to make a nice cinematic shot and whatever else. And he's got like 100,000-ish subscribers, and he just had a situation where he just got an email from YouTube saying that AdSense had disabled his AdSense account, and without an AdSense account, I don't know if you guys know, but you can't run ads on your channel, and you can't get paid at all. So he appealed this decision, and AdSense said, no, we're not reinstating you, and so now he's got no channel. Or he's got a channel, but he has decided that he's not really going to do very much with it because he can't run ads on it. And I think he's got like 3 different channels, and they shut them all down. So that is really scary because, so granted, I don't know Max in any way. I just watch his videos, and I don't know anything about behind the scenes at all. But taking him at his word for what he was showing everybody about what happened, because he showed some emails, like email exchanges he had with YouTube. I don't see what he did wrong, and if that could happen to him, then I suppose it could happen to anybody, because the content he makes is, I mean, it's not risque in any way. Like, he's very PC about everything he does. So I don't really know what happened or why it happened, but yes, it is a little frightening to see. Robert Moore sent me $4.99 with no question or comment. Thank you, sir. I owe you the answer to a question, should you have one. So let me know. But thank you very much for the donation and the super chat, Robert. All right, so I'm going to scroll up. So Jeff M said, it seemed to skip a couple times for me, but thought it was just on my end. Seems good now. I hope it stays good. I don't have any control, unfortunately, over the hotel Wi-Fi situation and setup. I actually asked them if I could get a room with a hardline, and they didn't have any. So I'm stuck on Wi-Fi. So if there's any dips, slowdowns or anything like that, unfortunately, I can't really do very much about it. So I hope that it's not that bad if there are like frame rate drops or whatever. So I hope it's not too distracting, and I'm sorry if it is. All right. Rodimus says, I see hotel sheets. Absolutely. Those are some hotel sheets. Got myself a nice king-size bed, and I'm just gonna starfish it all night. Because when at home we end up with cats in the bed, and then we fight for covers and all that. So I don't know. It's every once in a while, I guess it's nice to sleep in your own bed, but do wish my wife was out here. Actually, she really likes the beach, and really she likes Ocean City. So she had considered coming out here for a day, but she had to work today and just kind of didn't work out. So hi Megan, sorry you couldn't be here. You see nose hairs. I'm not surprised by that. I do have some nose hairs. Thanks, Shellback. Super chat from Manny Media Tech. Again, no question or comment. So thank you very much for the donation. Thank you very much for the $5, Manny. Dan Man says, dude, I want to sleep with you. That's a weird comment. I'll be there in 45 minutes. Thanks for the hotel stream. Gotta call a few to get room. Not sure what that last part means, but no, you cannot sleep with me. That's not allowed. But I do have like a living room area with like the sofa. So yeah, if you get down here, you're in. You could have it. Hmm. All right. Hessian Mac is in Australia. Well, thanks for watching, man. You are it's quite a time difference. I guess it's the morning over there, right? It's like 9 a.m. somewhere not between 9 and 11 a.m. depending on where you are. Kuya Boogs says, "Hello, I have a question. If I bought 6LL120, do I need the Node Pro thingy?" I guess you don't need one if you bought if you bought two 3-packs, they should come with the Lighting Node Pro. So yeah, so they come with the Lighting Node Pro. I thought you meant like the Commander Pro. You don't necessarily need the Commander Pro, but you will need the Lighting Node Pros. Otherwise, they will not. You won't be able to control them. So, but if you bought like 3-packs, they should come with the lighting nodes. So, but yes, you do need those, unfortunately. Mr. Kernels says, "How true do you think the rumors are about the next gen NVIDIA GPUs being a refresh?" I hadn't heard that. I had heard next gen AMD cards being a refresh, but I had not heard NVIDIA's being a refresh. Um, so I don't know that I could comment on that specific rumor, but let's see. So from the information that is out there, from what I've read, the next gen NVIDIA GPUs are not a refresh. I think that is what is being speculated right now. Um, yeah, I think that's right. Angelo Batista says, "Hello, sir." Hello, Angelo. I'm sorry if you guys are looking at like the top of my head here. This is a awkward angle I'm at. Alan W. Alan W has a question that I just lost. Where did it go? Where did you go, Alan W? Oh man, I'm sorry, Alan W. I just lost your question. It just scrolled away from me. Ask it again, and I'll see if I can find it. I know you asked something. This is hard, but I should have brought a mouse. The one thing I don't bring is a mouse, of course. All right, Manny Media says he said. I think you're talking about Max. Max Yuriev says he said he was making 2,000 from AdSense on one of his channels. Sure, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it could certainly hurt if all of a sudden that income is just gone. Like I said, he had 100,000 subscribers on one of his channels, and he had 3 of them. So Rodimus says, "If I can ever sell my other house, I'm going to upgrade my CPU and GPU." Well, I hope if you sell a house, you'd have enough money to buy more than just a CPU and GPU. But good luck. I've actually never had to sell a house. We The first house we bought is still the house that I'm in. Granted, we only bought our house in 2014, so it's not that long ago. But just the other day, we were talking about like potentially not anytime soon, but like when we might think about moving, or where we might want to go, or like what we might want to upgrade to as far as house goes. But we have a nice house, so we're not looking to get it out anytime soon. But yes, selling it and like taking the hit from fees and whatnot, realtor fees, it just seems like something I don't want to deal with right now. So good luck selling your house, my man. So Garuman Talman says, question for everyone: how many of you have noticed net issues with the repeal of net neutrality? So I mean, I suppose I'm a part of everyone, so I'll answer that. I haven't noticed anything, but I mean, It's so that repeal only went into effect in in April, I think. So it hasn't really been that long. I think that we have to we have to give the companies, we have to give ISPs some time to develop their nefarious plans and implement them. And because of their lack of net neutrality, I don't know how transparent they're going to have to be with their customers about what they're doing. So that is actually what scares me the most, is that we might not know what's going on. Um, until somebody digs a little deeper. Like it might just be something that happens behind the scenes or whatnot that just kind of screws over everybody until people start figuring out, hey, they're messing with our traffic lanes or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of the scary part, but I haven't noticed anything too bad. Um, at least yet. So I mean, I'd be interested to know if anybody else has any input on that, and see if anybody's actually experiencing anything bad from the repeal of net neutrality. Because, I mean, I certainly am for net neutrality. Don't get me wrong, but to date, I guess it's been okay without it. So even though Ajit Pai can suck a big one. Mm-hmm. Gatterman says, well, now I have to get a beer or wine. I'm thirsty. You should get a beer or wine. If you have that ability, go get some beer or wine. Absolutely. Shellback says, just got into my new place, ready to finish the build process and really do my setup. That's actually one thing that I was really looking forward to when we did buy the house is I mean, in our old place, I had an office. I moved into a bigger space and kind of started from zero. So starting from a blank slate is a lot easier than trying to integrate stuff into an existing setup. So I was able to put some IKEA countertops in and put in a workbench and put in shelving racks and stuff like that. And it was actually really nice to be able to have that space and flexibility to put in what I wanted. I mean, my office, our house is my wife does a fantastic job of decorating and designing things for our house, and laying out all the guest rooms and the living room and the sitting room, whatever other rooms. It looks great. But the basement she kind of leaves to me, which I'm so thankful for, because I need that space, especially now with doing shooting videos and whatnot. And when we bought the house, she was like, you could do whatever you want in that office. That's I don't care, which was really a relief to me, that I could kind of design it how I wanted it. It wasn't going to be an issue at all. So yeah, starting from zero in a nice, clean, blank space. I appreciate that you're looking forward to that. Mini-ITX says, Brian, can you tell me how you have everything plugged in for the stream? Yeah, absolutely, I can. All right, so I did post a picture of this on Twitter. So if you want to head over there, you could probably follow along, but I'm just gonna mime some stuff really quick. So I'm streaming with my laptop. This is my Razor Blade, my 2018 blade. I'm running OBS, and then feeding into OBS is my Elgato HD60S capture card. Also plugged into the blade is my Blue Snowball microphone. So that's what you're hearing me on right now. Plugged into the HD60S is my Sony A7 III. And then I have a light, a small LED light, just kind of, giving me some illumination here. So the signal from the A7 III goes through the HD60S into OBS, and then OBS broadcasts it and combines it with the audio signal from the Blue Snowball. And you do have to do a little post-processing syncing of the audio. Sometimes, like right now, I'm on a 100 millisecond delay for the audio, because sometimes it comes out looking a little weird. And if you ever watch the live stream where the audio doesn't sync up, that's the problem. And I do my best to make sure that that's not the case on my live streams, because I find that very distracting if I'm watching somebody. So that's why I always ask you guys, like, is everything okay? Is the audio okay? Is the video okay? Because I want to make sure that it looks and sounds good for you guys. But that's the so at home I have a little more complicated of a setup, but I mean I'm traveling. Clearly, I'm not in my office, and I don't have my usual equipment around me. So this is kind of the best I could do for now, and I think it's pretty good. I think it worked out okay. As long as, like I said, I don't know what the audio sounds like, but people seem to be saying that it's okay. But that is the setup, and I am glad that I could. It's all fairly portable. Like I actually think that this is something that I could bring with me to CES and do a live stream from CES, because I think that might actually be really neat. Where you guys can tell me in real time what you want me to go and check out. Like I'll certainly have a plan and think that I need to see, but if you saw something in somebody else's video, then yeah, let me know. And I think that would be really cool. And I could pack this whole setup into a backpack, you know. So I mean, that's something that's doable, and I definitely would look into that for the future. And I think like when I travel, because I do travel for work quite often, that I think in the future I will try to keep this set up with me and do some live streams from some hotel rooms and whatnot, so that I can give you guys some content when I'm away. But yeah, so okay. To recap, Razer Blade 15, OBS is the program, Elgato HD60S, Sony A7 III, LED, small LED light, and a blue snowball. That's the setup. New World 9 says, love the channel. First live I have caught. Any word on Project Baron? So I think people ask me about Project Baron, like I guess every stream now. I've made a decision that I'm not going to rebuild it in that case with that loop. There was just too much damage to so I cleaned the motherboard, and I cleaned the processor, and I cleaned the graphics cards and whatnot. That took quite a long time. I could not really thoroughly clean the fans because I guess the material of the fan housings just kind of the coolant must have just impregnated that material, plastic, vinyl, whatever it is. I can't get it out. It's stained. So I have 11 ML 120 Pro RGB fans that I mean they still work perfectly fine, but I just can't get them clean. And the same thing for the case. The case has rubber grommets. The coolant soaked into there. There's coolant in places like cracks and crevices. I'd have to literally disassemble the entire case to scrub it clean and then get new grommets and then reassemble it, and maybe it would look okay. It was really a mess, and that coolant, I mean, it was just premature opaque coolant, but it got everywhere and stained everything. So I'm not going to put it back together in its previous form. It's certainly possible that I will try to put another Threadripper system back together. However, with the pending release of Threadripper 2, I might just hold off until that comes out. So for right now, I'm editing on a delidded and direct die framed 7900X system that I built in the Deepcool Arc 90 case, which is terrible for airflow, but because the CPU is delidded and it's got a 280 millimeter radiator on it, it does okay. So that's what I got going on for now. Right now, all the AMD stuff and the Vega cards and whatnot are actually just sitting on my product shelves. And I definitely will do something else with them. I'm just not sure what. So Project Baron, unfortunately, is not going to come together again. Maybe in the future I'll do a Project Baby Baron, where I'll make a micro ATX or mini ITX version of that system somehow. I don't know. Maybe ASRock has all those crazy Mini-ITX boards, so maybe that's a possibility. So, but let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. Oh man, I missed a lot of comments. Okay, sorry. Give me a second while I scroll up here and catch up. What wine am I drinking? So I don't know the name of it. Here's a here's a story that's going to make me sound like a wine snob. I went down to the bar in the hotel and I asked them what reds they had, and the bartender, they had they had a Merlot, they had 3 different cabs, and they had 2 different Pinot Noirs. And normally I'm a Pinot Noir guy, but the 2 Pinot Noirs that they have were from one was from California and one was a blend from like California, Oregon, somewhere else, and I just said no. Um, and I was like, okay. I literally said to the bartender, just give me the most expensive cab you have because it's a hotel. They're not going to have like $1,000 bottle of wine. I'm thinking maybe like a glass is going to be 10, $12, right? So she poured me this, and it was like it was a $13 glass of wine, which is I guess fine. Um, and she told me the name of it, and she said that it was her favorite wine that they had, but she didn't seem to be very wine savvy. And I'm drinking it now, and it's very sweet and fruity, which is not my preference. But it's fine. I'm in a hotel. It doesn't really matter. I'm still enjoying it. Hold on. Let me enjoy it. Mmm. Mmm. Wait, what happened? Did the stream drop? The preview is not showing up. Why am I not seeing a preview? Hmm. I don't know what's happening here. It looks like the public view is fine, but I'm not seeing a preview. So I think everything is okay. Let me scroll all the way down. It froze for a second. Okay. Okay, well the public view looks fine, so I'm gonna keep going, and let me know if there's. I mean, I could still see chat. Chat's still coming by, so I assume you guys will tell me if everything froze. I think it's fine though. Okay, so let me find some more questions. Still live. I didn't notice anything here. Okay, good. All right, Anson says, what's currently your favorite case that is under $200?" So that's another question that I get quite often. I still like the fractal design Define R6. I still think that's the best, most well-rounded, best constructed case out there. Michael Carter, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. He says, "What's up? Love these types of videos." Yeah, I mean, I try to do them every once in a while, answer people's questions. I mean, you guys can talk to me directly, ask me whatever is on your mind. Few Hesh and Mac Time says few tubers have covered it, but a lot haven't. They don't want to upset NVIDIA. I think you're talking about like the GT 1030. I see no reason to touch that card. I think it's a steaming pile of garbage. So, I mean, I think that plenty of people have put that information out there, so you guys are aware of what's going on with that card and why not to buy it. But I think that my audience generally is not. That's not a card that's targeted towards people that watch my videos. I mean, even if you guys are into like 1050 Ti's, those cards are just way above the performance of a GT 1030. and especially with what NVIDIA is doing with the memory on those cards, I don't see any reason to even look into one. Jose apparently very much liked the last build I did, the Mini-ITX one. Yeah, I did want to talk about that. Did you guys like that build? That was a lot of fun to do. That In1A1 case is legit. Like, I mean, it's always going to be hard to build in an enclosure that's just that small. Literally, just getting your hands, your fingers in to plug things in is a process because it's so cramped. But as far as like the build experience itself, the case was great. Like compared to some other really small cases that I've worked with, there's room behind the motherboard tray to route cables. There's space to mount your SSDs. There's cooling, like this mounting your space for 4 different fans. There's LED effects and the Qi charger, and it comes with a really good power supply. So, I mean, that case was awesome, and that build was really fun, and it got a lot of attention. Like it did a good amount of views for me, and a lot of positive feedback was coming from that video. Um, so I assume that it kind of resonated with a lot of people who were really into maybe the smaller form factor machines. So I'm glad that you guys liked it. But if you had any questions about it or any comments or anything like that, please feel free to let me know. Jeff M says, I just saw the Gamers Nexus video about their NAS failure. Just curious, what sort of setup do you have for media storage backup for your channel? So I have, I don't have what I should is the answer to that question. Right now, my storage solution is I have a 1 terabyte Samsung M.2 drive as my primary and scratch drive, and then I have 2 4 terabyte Western Digital Blacks as my mass storage, and so I'm just being real with you about this. Right now, I have some videos on one of those drives and some videos on the other one of those drives. I'm kind of hoping that neither of them fails. I kind of divide up where I put my videos, like because what I do is all the raw footage gets offloaded to the M.2 drive, and that's where I edit from because it's so fast. It makes scrubbing through footage a lot easier. But once the final project is done and exported, it all goes into a folder, and then I take the folder and I put it either on one of the 4 terabyte drives or the other one, and I have folders on each drive that are dedicated for videos of different types. But in any event, I don't have any real redundancy going on, besides the fact that I can pull down videos from YouTube if I need to. The YouTube dashboard allows you to do that. But yeah, I really should get some network attached storage, and I did have one at one point, and I didn't utilize it enough back in the day, so I don't have it anymore, and now I need it. So that's kind of unfortunate, and maybe that's a project that I could work on for the channel. But yeah, I should definitely have some redundancy going on because some of the footage I end up needing, like I don't think I'll need it ever, and then I end up needing it like a year down the road. And that's happened to me where I haven't had that footage, and I've had to because I used to, before I had like 8 terabytes of storage, I would delete the raw files and just keep the final export. And I end up needing some of that footage at some point, and I just don't have it. So you never really know like what you're going to need to refer back to, and I really definitely wish that I had some of that footage, but in a very roundabout way, that's me saying I should definitely have some more redundant storage, some network storage somewhere, and I don't. So I'm just kind of fingers crossed and nothing happens until I rectify that situation. Another super chat from Robert Schmoyer, $9.99. Thank you very much, Robert. You don't have to keep donating. You are a very generous individual, but I appreciate it. Thank you. When do you think the new Fantex Evolve X case will be released? So that I don't unfortunately have any information on. I don't have Fantex is one of the few companies that I don't have a direct contact with. So I don't have any information out there that's not. I don't have any information that's not already out there and public. From what I remember, during Computex, that was almost a final build. So usually when that happens, that means the case is probably 2 to 3 months out. So I'm thinking you'll probably see it in August, September time, probably. But I mean, I guess you never know. There are delays that happen. I'm still getting products sent to me that just came out that I saw at CES, and that was 7 months ago. So I guess you just never really know. But yeah, I think it should be pretty soon. BKN, what's a good budget micro ATX case? Well, I mean, budget means different things to different people, so I'm not entirely sure what your final budget is, but I really like the Meshify C Mini. It sounds like I'm a big Fractal fanboy, but they make really good products. The NZXT H400, is that right? 400. H400 and H400i are also very good. But I think that I have a build coming up in the NZXT H500, which is their replacement for the S340, and it's the same fairly small form factor. They asked me which one I wanted, the H500 or the H500i, and I said I just wanted the base model, no I. So I have the one without like the intelligent controller and the LEDs and whatnot, because I want to do this is a good budget case, a good budget build, and that case is only like 60 or 70 bucks, and it's fairly compact. So unless you have like all the micro ATX gear already, I mean, I would recommend looking at that case. I think it's really good. But yeah, as far as definite, like for micro ATX, I think the Fractal Meshify Mini is one of the best. Anson says Cooler Master's Q300P is good, but again, it slightly chokes air. I did a build in that case, and you're right, it's not the best for airflow, but aesthetically, it's pretty cool. And they make two different Q300s, and I don't remember which one is which, but like there's a P, and I think there's an M. But one of them is just a box, and it has all open sides for airflow, and one of them has the handles, and that one doesn't have as good airflow. But I built in the one with the handles without the great airflow. It was still okay. So, I mean, unless you're doing something crazy in there, you'll probably be all right. But yeah, that case does look like it has no airflow at all, and it has some. Rodimus says a lady here has a Canon T3i for sale, but is only 1080p 30, so I'm not pulling the trigger. You, sir, should buy my GH5 because that does way more than 1080 30. I'll cut you a good deal. Let me know if you want it. I am selling it. I'm sure people have seen it on Twitter, and I don't mean to be bombarding you, but if anybody you guys know needs an awesome camera with a lens and all accessories, I got one. I will sell it on a good price, I promise you. Just let me know. How's the N1A1 with just the stock fans? Well, there are no stock fans, so it is not good with just the stock fans. You will need to buy fans. Inwin sent me the A1 with the Polaris aluminum fans. That's what I put into that build, and let me tell you, that was the way everything came together there. Everything was seamless. Like the fact that you can daisy chain those, man, that makes a huge difference in a case with not a whole lot of space. So I definitely recommend looking into the Inwin A1 with the Polaris fans if that's the route you're going. But I put all those links like down in that video's description, so take a look at them. I mean, the Polaris aluminum fans are unfortunately not cheap, but they are really good and they're very quiet. and they do fit like the aesthetic of that whole project. So I definitely recommend them with that case. Hesh and Mac Time says good tripod recommendations. Well, I have unfortunately a lot of tripods. The one that I use the most, I have a Benro S7, which is like one of those ones that looks like it has crutches for legs, because those are the most, and it has like a brace in the middle. It's very stable. Um, I also have as like a travel lighter tripod. I have an Orbit, a three pod carbon fiber tripod that folds up pretty nice and neat and small. It's like folds up to like maybe this size, and it's very light. It's all carbon fiber. Um, I have a couple of the tripods that I don't really use anymore, and then I have a couple of small ones. Like I have a couple like handheld like bendy tripods that people use to vlog with. Excuse me. I use that at CES a lot. I have this bendy tripod that my LED light is on. That's kind of more a lightweight one. I have this tripod. I know you guys can't see what I'm pointing at. It's like a miniature tripod. It's like this tall, that I use for like live streams and stuff like that. But yeah, the main tripod I use is a Benro S7, and I mean, if you got the dough, it's real good, but it's not cheap. Casey says, do you think you could put a custom loop in that Mini-ITX case from a few videos ago? I assume you mean the A1. It would be really difficult. It would be foolish to say that it couldn't be done. It could definitely be done. It's very difficult because the chambers are separated. So where the fans go on the bottom, there's no room for a radiator, and also it's separated from the main chamber. There's only like a pass through that's like the size of like a dime at biggest, and that's for the cables to go through. So that would pose a challenge. You could mount radiators like on the back by the motherboard and on the back of the motherboard tray. I guess you could run some cooling in there, and that might be doable. But again, it's very tight. I'm trying to think where you might be able to mount a pump. That might be the biggest challenge, honestly, finding space for a pump. It can be done. I probably won't try it, to be honest with you, but that would be super interesting. That would be something where you probably cut your knuckles constantly trying to squeeze stuff in there. Rodimus says, "Did you guys see Singularity put a double loop in the small Case Labs Cube case? It was crazy." Yeah, those guys are just nuts. Like I mean, they do amazing work. I wouldn't put anything past them. Kyle Wilkinson says, "I have two AIOs on my CPU and GPU. Should I go open loop?" I mean, if the AIOs are doing the job, then I guess there's no cooling need. But I mean, it might be a neater, more aesthetically pleasing solution. I don't like AIOs on GPUs. Just the way they look bugs me, because you end up getting like tubes running from your CPU crossing with tubes running from your GPU, and it just kind of looks like a bundle of tubes in the middle of the case. It's hard to really manage them, so I try to avoid using GPUs with AIOs on them. But I know that they cool the GPUs pretty well. But I mean, if you are looking for an upgrade, you'll probably get better cooling out of an open loop, and it will look better. But it's going to cost you a lot. I mean, a full open GPU CPU loop, a decent amount of radiator space, like good fans, pump res, blocks. It's going to cost you fittings minimum $500-600. You're talking. So I mean, is that an upgrade that you're willing to take on? I mean, that's up to you. But I mean, you listed a 6700K and a GTX 1070. To be honest with you, I probably wouldn't. It's probably not worth it. That's money you should put into, you know. I'm not saying your setup is bad. Your setup is still really good. But I mean, that money would probably be better served saving it for next generation hardware or something like that. MB67 says, would you be willing to build in a case smaller than the A1? That would be interesting. I don't know. So what case is smaller than the A1? I'm sure. I'm willing to build in almost anything, I guess. But I would need a reason to do so. And I would need to know what you guys would want to see in it. The reason I really like that build is because it was kind of a juxtaposition of this tiny case with this immensely powerful hardware that worked really well. I almost wanted to keep that together and just use it as a system. But of course, I took it apart when that video was done. So if there was like an idea of a case that you had that you wanted to see me build in, and maybe like an idea for a system that you wanted to see in it, I'd be willing to entertain it. I mean, I'm here for you guys, right? So let me know what case that might be. But sure, smaller case. I guess maybe I'll get my wife to install the hardware, so I don't have to put my giant hands into such a tight space. But yeah, sure. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to catch up on comments. There's a lot of them that I have potentially missed. NB67, I just might contact you about your camera. All right, sir. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Hessian Mac Time, thanks for the tripod advice. I appreciate it. We'll take a look. He says Bedrow S7. No, it's Benrow. B boy, E Edward, N Nancy, R Robert, O Oscar. Benrow. Francis Fabian says, did you see the Ryzen Ophion Evo at Computex? I wasn't at Computex, unfortunately. That trip got canceled, kind of midway through the planning stage. So, no, I did not see it. Sorry about that. Rodimus says, I have never water cooled before, and I'm looking at the EKWB L360 kit with soft tubing, 360 millimeter rad, 35 millimeters tall, all copper. It's a great kit. I mean, I think I recommend that people just getting into water cooling go the soft tubing route first. It's admittedly easier, but it lets you get a feel for what you're going to be getting into if you go hardline without necessarily the consequences of not doing a hardline loop correctly. So yeah, go for it, man. Send me some photos. Pedro Garcia says, with that build, I think you mean the A1 build, why did you go with fan position? Would it have better to have intake from the bottom and side and exhaust from the back on the A1? So I don't know if you were the person who commented on the video with the similar question, but I guess this is a good time for me to explain. So intake was on the bottom so there's 4 total fan positions. Ideally, what you want is neutral pressure inside your case. So you want the same number of fans or the same amount of air coming in as it going out. So what I had set up as, I had the 2 bottom fans as intake blowing directly up into the chassis. Because of the position of those fans on the bottom, they're sucking in cool air relatively cool air versus what's already in the case and above it. That's just how physics works, right? Cold air sinks, hot air rises. So it's introducing cooler air into the case. So ideally what you want is to balance that 220 millimeter fan intake. You want two 120 millimeter exhaust. And the other two positions in the case are the only two places you could put fans. So ideally you want both of those to be exhaust. I only had three of the Polaris fans, and I don't think not using the fourth one created any serious problems, but I wanted to utilize that back wall by the motherboard tray as exhaust for aesthetic purposes. So that's why I put the exhaust fan there. Ideally, you would use that as exhaust and also the other fan on the back wall as exhaust, the other fan space for exhaust. So I guess I understand what you're saying as far as why I didn't switch them around. However, I don't think it made a huge impact if I had the exhaust fan where I had it versus on the back of the case. Ideally, you want both, and I just didn't have the fans to put there. But our temps were actually pretty good as it was, and I don't think that there was any issue. Statistic 189 says, what's a good CPU cooler for my Inwin A1 case using Ryzen 7 2700 non-K? I think you mean non-X. So the build that I just did used the Wraith Prism, and I thought that that was a great fit both aesthetically and functionally because I did not overclock that chip. I think if you are going to overclock, so that case has the benefits of being able to accommodate a taller cooler because it is a little wider than a lot of cases that are that size. So you can go with something, well, I guess I don't know the measurements offhand, but you could likely even go with something like a Be Quiet Dark Rock, I think, which is one of the taller coolers out there. The only problem is that the power supply is mounted towards the front of the case. Or I guess if you're looking at me, it's towards the front of the case, and it comes out. So if you have your CPU mounting position here with your cooler, you have to make sure that the shroud from the power supply is not going to interfere with the cooler coming out vertically, because there's not a whole lot of space there. And a cooler like, just to be ridiculous, like like even like a Dark Rock Pro 4 that's a big cube would not fit in there because it would hit the shroud, the power supply shroud. It's just too wide. So there are limitations as far as what you could put in there, but I used the Wraith Prism because it fit aesthetically, it fit size-wise, and it provided enough cooling for what I was doing because, like I said, I wasn't overclocking. But yes, there are certainly other coolers you could use in there. P31952 says, if I'm going to do 16G and I have 4 slots available, I assume you mean, okay, so 16 gigs of memory, and I have 4 slots available, should I do 2x8 or 4x4? So you should do 2x8. So introducing 4 memory DIMMs also introduces more latency and prevents overclocking. That was a stupid way to put that. It doesn't prevent overclocking. It makes it more difficult to overclock. If you have the option to go 2x8 versus 4x4, you should definitely do that. It's going to provide you with the same dual channel functionality, the same memory capacity, and also the ability to upgrade in the future just by buying 2 more DIMMs. If you want to upgrade a 4x4, you got to buy a whole new kit of 4x8. So yes, 2x8 definitely the way to go. Carmos 1970 says, hi, great show. What setting in an AMD B350 locks my CPU clock to 100 megahertz? Mine is 99 to 107 megahertz. I'm not sure what you mean. A lot of B350 boards don't have the ability to adjust the base clock. They don't have an external clock generator. So that's something that like the more expensive boards have. So, but I'm not entirely sure what your question is asking. Maybe ask it again. You do it says good evening from Wildwood, New Jersey. Good evening from Ocean City, Maryland. I think actually I've hit the bottom here. I've hit the end of our questions. But the stream is still looking okay. If anybody has any last minute things that they want to ask me, let me know. I am out of wine. And I do have a couple things that I have to do for work, before I go to sleep. But if anybody has anything else that they wanted to ask me, do it quick, or else I am out of here because I think we've been on for just about an hour, and that's kind of what we usually do here. No, nobody. No. Oh, question. It's Avi. It's Avi. Is there any way that I can have it to where I hear my PC audio and PS4 audio through one headset? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with how the PS4. I don't have a PS4. Sorry. Francis Fabian, why are you at a hotel? I am here for work. I'm on work travel right now. I have this YouTube is not my full-time job. I have a 9 to 5, and they send me all over the place all the time. Luckily, this time I could actually drive to where I'm staying. So I'm only about 4 hours from here. I was able to drive out and stay in the hotel overnight. Mini-ITX says, what's a good place to visit in Ocean City, Maryland? So, I mean, I guess I might be in the minority here. I actually enjoy. So, Ocean City is a typical ocean town. It's set up in blocks starting at, I guess I don't know if it starts at 1. It might start at 1, but it goes all the way up to like 100 and something street, right? And the beginning, the first couple blocks, it's like it's a real big boardwalk. It's a typical like ocean beach town. So they have like little shops and restaurants and stuff like that along the boardwalk. Hotels along that area. That's the more expensive place because that's a really big touristy area. I don't like that area. It's too busy. It's too crazy and cheesy. I don't know if that's the right word. But I prefer more towards the other end of the boardwalk that's a little bit quieter and a little more secluded, and the beaches aren't quite as crazy. So if you're going to stay here, I would recommend staying up somewhere around like 90th Street area. And I just find that to just be a better overall experience, unless you really want, because you could always like drive a mile or two down the road and you're in the boardwalk area and just hang out there. But that's personal preference, I guess. I don't come here often enough where I have a favorite restaurant. I've only been out here like maybe 3 or 4 times now. So yeah, I can't really give you any specific recommendations, but I think if you're going to come out here and stay here, don't stay in Crazy Town. Stay a little bit further away, and then you'll probably have a much better experience. Like I said, you could walk to the beach no matter where you stay here. It's such a narrow bit of land that no matter where you stay, if you are in Ocean City, you could just walk to the beach. So I'd recommend staying a little further away from the boardwalk. Pedro Garcia, question: how long have you been a tech tuber? Your content is amazing. You deserve more subs. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. I started my channel November 2015, and I guess I've told this story on stream a couple times, but not recently. So I started it November 2015, and I put up a couple of videos that were just, looking back on them now, they were just awful. And I didn't really take it seriously until maybe April 2016. That's when I bought a camcorder. I bought like a really cheap camcorder, but it was a camera, so I wasn't just using my phone. I bought like a microphone to use, like a cheap lavalier microphone. It was like $20, but still it was better than really terrible audio and terrible video. And I started to try to learn how to in a very rudimentary way edit videos, and I started to try to figure out better content to give you guys. Before then, it was really haphazard, really random. There was no release schedule. The videos were really poorly planned out, and they weren't good at all. But yeah, so the channel, if you look it up on like Social Blade, November 2015 is when the channel was started, but I didn't really start giving it enough time and attention and trying to build a following until April 2016. So those are the two dates. But thank you very much for the compliment. Robert Schmoyer says, "Would you be interested in selling the pumps from Baron?" No, probably not. Those were sent to me by Watercool, so I'm just gonna hang on to them. But if I have anything that I want to get rid of, I'll let you know. I'll hit you up on Patreon or something. Mr. Colonel says, now that HDR is fixed on Windows with the new update, you're going to show off or review any high-end HDR monitors. Do you use one at all? I don't use an HDR monitor, but I actually have been over the just a weird coincidence, I guess, over the past maybe week or two, communicating with a couple of monitor vendors about some new panels. So I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to commit to having anything because I'm not sure. I don't have any definitive answers just yet as far as what is coming or is not coming, or maybe nothing's coming. I don't know. But I hope to have a couple of monitors to review soon that have HDR functionality. So I hope so. But I don't have one right now. But I am looking to upgrade my monitor. To be honest with you, no matter what, like I'm using a couple year old 1440p ultra wide, which is good, but now in that form factor, resolutions are higher, screens are bigger. So the monitor that I really wanted is that stupid LG Nano IPS 5K ultra wide, which is delayed, infinitely delayed. It's now delayed into August. Who the hell knows when it's actually coming? And I'm just kind of over it. So unfortunately, that's the one that I really wanted to review, and I don't even know if that's going to happen. So I know LG's not going to send me one, but I was just going to buy one, to be honest with you. And I don't know. It's $1,500, and it just keeps getting pushed back, and who the hell knows what it's going to be when it comes out, if there's going to, need huge firmware updates every month or whatever else, because it's just so unique. I don't know. It's frustrating. That's what I wanted. It's not going to happen. Weston Barr says, did you see my question above about NVIDIA log.exe? I did not. I didn't. What about it? I'm sorry. Ask it again. Sorry, Weston. Okay, so we're at like an hour, a little over an hour now. A couple more questions, and I got to head out of here. Umbrifos says, what are your thoughts on pump res rad combos? Pump res rad combos that EK is planning on making. I'm not familiar with those pump red raz combos. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure, so I don't want to just spit out an answer, but I'll take a look. You do it says, I'm using the Samsung 49KS 8500. So awesome with my timeline in Premiere. I can imagine that would be good for timelines, but I can't see myself. First of all, I don't have the space for that wide of a screen. And second of all, I can't see myself wanting to buy a screen that big and still only have 1080 vertical pixels. That seems like such a waste to me. I'm not saying it's a waste for everybody. If you're just ultra wide gaming, it's got to be really cool. But if I'm going to spend that much on a monitor and get one that's that big and that ridiculous, I'm not buying a 1080p panel. I mean, that just seems like that wouldn't be great for me. Especially because I'm editing 4K content. Like, it's bad enough editing 4K content on a 1440p panel. Can't even imagine doing it on a 1080p panel. I think it would be terrible. Mr. Colonel says, "How about that 144 hertz 4K HDR G Sync for $2,000?" I've reached out to Asus about that. I know they wouldn't. That's not something that they send to people not named Linus and let you keep it. That's like a sample that you get and test and send back. But I would like to get my hands on it and try it out. Again, though, that's the wrong size for me. Like it's only 27 inches. If I were to get another screen, another monitor, it would need to be bigger than that. Like I can't operate with just that much real estate, unfortunately. So if if those specs were available in a slightly larger, maybe 31.5 inch screen, that would be great. But 27's probably not workable for me. Gordon Evans says, "Hey, I love the channel. Keep up the good work." Thank you very much, sir. Gadaman Talman says, "Do you believe in the power of cheese?" I love cheese. I believe cheese has mystical powers. Okay, Weston Bar says, "There is a program on my work PC that pegs the three 1080 GPUs at up to 100% usage in the background." Well, that's not good. Windows 10, 6850K, Asus X99 WSE. Any idea what this is? No, I don't. I'd have to know. I'd have to see what's running. Like you'd have to bring up the processes and look at every process and see what's running. Unfortunately, I don't. That's terrible. That probably is real noisy too. Sorry, man. All right, 3 more questions. Devin Taylor. So I'm building the N1A1 build and I'm using a 1080 and a 970 500 gig M.2 for boot and a 961 terabyte M.2 for mass storage. Is that a good combo? That sounds like a great combo. Absolutely. Mini-ITX, have a good night, everybody. I have to work tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow too. I actually have to work right now. So that's probably a good way to end the stream. Thank you very much for coming by, everybody, on a Monday night and hanging out with me while I'm in my glorious hotel room. I hope that it was a good stream for you guys. I had fun. Hope you guys had fun too. And I am out of here. See you guys.